What's up, everybody? I got a beautiful guest in the house tonight. Let's go. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Purple Pod, episode 77, the number one show in the world for dating, starting right here in Dallas, Texas. Please make sure to like the video on y'all's way in. Subscribe. Please hit that notification bell so you can see every time our live shows are coming up Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Follow us on the podcast Instagram to add this beautiful lady that we got on the panel tonight. We are now live to Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Rumble, and YouTube all at the same time. Go sign up for the mentorship linked below by just doing a free consultation with one of our coaches. If you want to show some support, you can do that by hitting the join button right under the video to become a YouTube member. You'll get some cool emojis for the live show. Super chat in also your question if you have one for my friend here. Also check out our merch store, and we're now streaming on all the audio platforms, guys, which the audio sounds really cool now because I got a cloud lifter. Yeah. But yeah, please check out the Instagram, guys. Make sure everything's working. But yeah, Donnie, I appreciate you for being my producer tonight. Shout out to you. And anybody that needs media marketing on YouTube, please hit me up. And we are doing a media marketing package for any YouTube channels. I'll do 3 clips a day and 3 shorts a day for only $500 a month. So please hit me up if you're interested in something like that to grow your YouTube channel. Tonight we got a really special episode, guys. I got a girl that's really smart over here, man. She's really big into trading. Which is a really big deal because anybody that is a part of my mentorship understands that we like to teach the women that are joining how to do certain types of hustles that are going to make them better with the men that they're with. And obviously trading is a really good one because helping a guy with his finances or learning how to make money from home, while watching kids and shit, that's obviously a very good thing compared to going and working at a job all day long and not having time to be able to help out with the family and kids. Like, that's why everything's fucked up today, is because there's no nuclear family. But yeah, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? Tell them your name, your age, your education level, what you do for work, and your relationship status, and something interesting about yourself too.
Okay. Hey guys, my name is
Talk closer if you
Jasmine.
can.
Hey guys, my name is Jasmine. I go by Jazz. I'm 22. I was born and raised in Dallas. I finished high school. I was actually enrolled to go to college to go to law school, but that's when I found out about trading. So I've been trading for about 4 years, but I've been doing it for 2.5 years full time.
Okay, how old are you?
I'm 22.
Yeah, that's dope, man. You grew up during the time where you could actually get on your phone and just make money like that. So your generation's lucky. I wish I would have had something like this when I was a kid. Well, I did have it. It was just way more complicated. What's your relationship status?
I'm single.
Single.
Yeah.
What else were they asking?
City boy, city boy.
Yeah, but yeah, she'll trade y'all's money and lose it all for you guys.
No,
I'm
I'm
just
not gonna lose it.
I'm just fucking with you. But yeah, I just want to learn, more about you. Since you're the only one on the show today, we're gonna peel some layers back and figure out why you're single. You're 22 years old. You have good a good career kind of that you're starting. Yeah, there's no reason why you should be single, right? Because you're like a prize, right?
Definitely.
Definitely. Okay, well then we're gonna figure out. So first thing I want to know, why why do you think that you're single?
I think well. I
Here,
know
talk
why I'm
closer to the mic if
I
you
know
can.
why I'm single. It's just right now my main focus is not relationships. I mean, I'm talking to someone that I'm very interested in, but right now I'm kind of learning how to balance I guess you could say, like, my work life from like my personal life.
Work life, personal life balance.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so like, I mean, if you're trading, you only have to trade. Like, well, no, if you're doing forex, I guess you got some weird hours that you're gonna be trading. But man, that's the best part about just doing options is because you could just work like 8:30 until 3:30 every day or whatever it is for Texas. Not that bad.
Yeah, it's not that bad, but I do a few other things too, so it's kind of like,
So you're doing multiple hustles all the time.
yeah.
But still, like, would you say that you're able to buy a lot of your time back compared to somebody that's like working an 8-10 hour shift every day?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, then wouldn't you say that you got plenty of time to have a good relationship if you really wanted to?
If I really wanted
Let's
to,
be
yeah.
honest. Yeah, come on.
If I really wanted to, yeah.
If you're a woman, you're definitely single by choice these days, right? Because I mean, you could always have like a simp beta like cuck dude. Like you could always have like some random. There's always a dude in your DMs that would just love to be your boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's really like by choice. Like it's your choice. But because there's a certain type of man that you would want to be in a relationship with, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
let's figure out what that man looks like. So what does he look like? What's your preferences?
I like older guys, so like
How old?
Giggity.
within like the past few years, it's been like 28 plus.
28 plus.
Yeah.
That's not that bad. No, I definitely think that's like pretty good for 22. What else? Like, what's the height you're looking for?
I'm really not big on height because I feel like so many females are like, oh, he has to be like 6'2", making 100.
What's the shortest guy you've ever dated?
Oh, he was maybe like 2 inches shorter than me, and I'm 5'5". But
And
that
you
was back in-
dated him, or you just had sex with him?
No, I dated him. This was in high school. And I remember we went to prom, and I couldn't even wear heels.
Well, you were already taller than him. I hope not. He needed the heels at that point.
Yeah.
That is messed up. Did he wear some big old platform boots or something to make himself at least your height for prom?
No, he did not.
What a fucker! You're like Barbie in the movie. Oh, like spoiler. I can't give that one out. My bad, guys. But no. So what? Give me another preference. You like a gym bro? Does he need to be a gym guy?
I definitely think he needs to be a gym guy.
Are you a
have
gym
to
girl?
Go, I am a gym girl. You don't have to go every day, but just something to get your health up, like be active and stuff like that. You don't have to be a gym rat. I don't need you like shredded or anything.
But at least taking care of himself.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. What about income preference? What's the preference on the income?
Income preference. I'd say you need to be making as much as I do or more.
Which is what like what's the number for him? There might be a Dallas guy who makes this. You never know.
I'd say at least 75K plus.
75K plus.
Definitely.
That's not bad.
I mean, even if you don't make that, it needs to be close. I mean, I can help you, of course, but it's like you got to kind of come with something,
Oh yeah, I know. Trust me, I get it. What's the racial preference?
I really don't have one, to be honest. I've talked to many people. I've dated, quite a few races, so I don't really have a preference.
What was your favorite relationship though with a black guy? Like how many relationships have you been in?
Serious ones?
Yeah, serious ones only.
4.
4, and like they were all like what races?
Most or half of them were black. The other one was a Hispanic, and then one was white.
One was white. Okay, and then like for like just sexually, like I know your relationship, like you were in serious ones with them, but like just sexually, have you tried like come on, like be serious, like which one's your favorite, like white, black, Mexican, like which one's like the best? You could be honest. Come on.
Definitely black guys.
Okay, yeah. So there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being honest about that. I mean, I like Mexican girls. I'm Mexican. Like, what the fuck? Like, I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But so if you had to choose like a guy that lives out in the country or a guy that lives in the city, which one do you want?
Definitely country. I'm country at heart. I like doing like outdoorsy stuff, 4-wheelers, riding horses, fishing. So.
Oh, that's why I like the white boys too, huh? Yeah.
A little
Okay.
bit.
Okay. Makes sense. How long have you been in Dallas for?
All my life.
Your whole life you've been here?
I'm born and raised.
Would you say like whenever you go out to like clubs or anything like that, would a guy like if you had a new boyfriend and you went out to the club, like would he have to be worried about like running into guys that you've messed with in the past or anything like that? Or do you like do you know a lot of people in the city in that way?
I do, but honestly, I don't. I stopped going to clubs probably a year ago. It's been a year.
As soon as you turned 21, basically, you got in and got out.
Yeah, it just wasn't. No, it's just no.
It's just not for you.
Me. No.
Are you a drinker?
Socially. Yeah.
Socially, but like you don't you're not the type where like every weekend or like every few days like you're trying to have a drink or anything.
No, not at all.
What about smoking? You're not a smoker?
I don't smoke anymore. I vape.
You vape? Yeah. Okay. Well, the vape is okay, I guess. What about going out to clubs and stuff? Or are you the type where like if you're in a relationship, you want to go out all the time, like at least once a month with your girls? Like what type of person are you? Are you introvert, extrovert?
I feel like I'm a mixture of both. As far as like going out with the girls, I'd say like once a month.
And in your relationship, like you'd want that? Like that's like a preference that you'd want in the relationship?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And like how often you go on girls trips?
That's even more rare, only because like my homegirls, they work 9 to 5. So.
Do they have relationships? Or are they single?
Most of them are single. A couple of them are in relationships.
Red flag. Super red flag. You need to get new friends. That's not good. What do you think is the biggest thing that's like in the guys that you dated, like those four? What was the biggest factor that was making it not work? Like, is there like one thing that kind of was the biggest factor for most of them?
Of course, they were different in their own ways, but if I had to like pick one thing, it would be they were insecure.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate?
Yeah, elaborate.
It's just like, oh, like, why do you have to go on this business lunch with him? Or like, who are all these guys in your phone? They'd go through messages, they wouldn't see anything. It'd just be like, oh, or how do you know them? And it's just like networking, like, relax, it's okay.
Yeah, but like, can you see like where that would be like a red flag to them because they don't know if you have slept with those people or not, though? Like, because I can understand like you follow a guy, follow him back, and like y'all are actually just networking for like investing stuff, or like anything like that. But for all that guy, he really has no idea though if you did ever have anything, because it's not like if you did have something sexual with a guy, it's not like you would immediately come out, within a few weeks or a month of meeting a guy, be like, hey, just so you know, I fucked that guy. I just want you to understand.
I mean,
Like
but I would though. That's just my personality.
you
I
would.
like for everything to be like clear as day, because I feel like if you're hiding something or lying about something, it's gonna come out eventually.
So you would you're the type of person where you're always honest about stuff like that.
Yeah.
Has that ever bit you in the ass?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and do you think you should still be honest about stuff like that, even though it's bit you in the ass before?
Yeah, for sure.
But why?
I mean,
What if you meet the guy of your dreams, then you tell him something like that, and then he stops fucking with
that's
you?
not the guy in my dreams then.
So, do you think that men and women are the same sexually?
Elaborate.
Like just like across the board, like would you say that like the way we see sex, even the way that we pursue sex, our long term and our short term mating strategies, would you say that men and women are the same across the board on all those things?
No.
Would you say we're mostly the same or mostly different?
I'd say mostly the same, but there are a few differences.
We're actually mostly different. Even the neurons in our brain, like the chemistry of our brain. Like if you look at a scan of a woman's brain, look at a scan of a man's brain, it's completely different. Like how everything, the connectivity of everything is completely different. And even if we look at like what kind of rules our lives, it's hormones. And like a man's hormones are completely different than a woman's. Like we have 17 times testosterone of a woman. Like a woman has anywhere from 13 to 50 milligrams, whatever the fuck how they would like grade it. A guy has anywhere from 200 up to like 1200. So it's like we can't even compare like men and women, and like testosterone is a direct link to our horniness and like how like horny we are. And a big problem today is like we always like women always like look at men and men always look at women like we're the same. Like a guy can sometimes be super, especially like normal guys are like super trustworthy and loving, and they're like, oh well, my woman must be the same. Like she could never cheat on me because like if I could trust her this, or if I have this much trust in her, she must have the same for me. And it's like we're actually very different. Like women cheat for different reasons than what a man would cheat for. And so whenever we look at sexually though, that we see that we're completely different, it goes back to like what you had said about about like should the guy be insecure over certain things. It's like insecurity is something that has always been hardwired in us for a good reason. If a guy's insecure, I guarantee you every guy that was insecure about something, it was for a good reason. It's called mate guarding whenever a guy wants to make sure you're not around other men and he's like your boyfriend. And like it's the same even for my daughter. Like I have a daughter, and like even for her, I have to mate guard and make sure other men don't do anything bad to her while she's a child, because if something happens to her as a child that causes trauma or anything, it could mess her up for the rest of her life, make her hypersexual. All types of horrible things can happen from that type of trauma. So like a guy is naturally hardwired to mate guard his woman, to not be around other men, to make sure nothing bad happens. And we don't, like, for thousands of years we couldn't tell if the baby was ours or not. There was no test. There was no, like, we couldn't just go down to the doctor's office and get a test to see if the DNA test was mine or if it was the other guy.
Yeah.
So because we couldn't do that, we're like super crazy about you better not cheat on me, you better not be around other men. Like I'm going to be really insecure and really jealous over these type of things, because if I'm not jealous about it, I could end up taking care of somebody else's kid for 18 years. And so for thousands of years, that's why we're hardwired with this jealousy, with this anger over stuff like that. And women are the same. Women get just as jealous, but the reason why is because for thousands of years, if your man stepped out and went and fucked another girl, like even when we were cave people or something like that, if he fell in love with her, if he put an emotional investment into her and he wanted to leave you, and the emotional investment that he built up with you for years, then you lost something that you put years into building. You put years into building this emotional connection, and then he's going to run off and ruin it. So you're either like, no other women can't be around my man, because if they are, what if he gets led astray and then me and my kid are fucked because he went and got an emotional investment with her? We see it all the time sometimes, like whenever you read online or something about a guy who leaves his wife and goes and builds a whole nother family, it's because he went and got a whole new emotional investment over there. That's what y'all are worried about, where we're worried about the sexual investment, because we couldn't tell if the baby was ours for thousands of years. So that's why, like, those guys, like, you're right, they were probably insecure, but what I argue is that insecurity is a good thing sometimes. It's to protect the relationship, it's to protect their girl. And in a working environment like today, whenever women have to work all the time, yeah, like it's going to be hard for you to avoid talking to men when you're trying to make money and trying to sell stuff and trying to do stuff. But yeah, based off everything that I said, have you ever heard of like have you ever tried to see the other side and see like a good side of the guys that you're talking to being insecure?
I definitely had kind of like what you just said, but I feel like there's levels to it. It was just so excessive.
What was like the most excessive?
I was dating this one guy, and just randomly, he'd be like, "Oh, if I catch you with another man, like it's up." It was so bad. He was like, "You gonna get a casket? He gonna get a casket?" And there was nothing, that had happened for
Talk
him to
closer,
say.
Vicky.
There was nothing that had happened for him to say these things. It was just at random.
I think that is like whenever a guy's saying it just to like let you know, like, yo, I'm that guy, and like I want you to know, like that I really want that's my pussy so much that anything that comes around, I want you to know, like that's like I think it's more of a joke, like I don't know, like
No, it wasn't a joke.
see,
I promise you, it
well, if
wasn't a
it's dead
joke.
ass serious, then it's just kind of, I mean, was it kind of hot? Be honest.
No, it was weird. It was so
I
weird.
mean, I don't know. I feel like some women like might like a guy being like, "That's fucking mine," and like you better not fucking take it anywhere else at all.
No, I don't. I'm not one of
That was
those who
creepy.
likes that. It's not that it's creepy. It's just like
Did you have sex with this man after he had said that?
before and after.
Okay, well that's what I'm saying. It had to. There's something sexy. Like there's something attractive. I just feel like when a guy says that, it's because he knows low key the woman's like, oh yeah, he's really down for me. Like that means he really likes me. I mean, in a crazy way though.
Yeah,
In a
for
crazy
sure.
way. That's why it was kind of done. What's
So,
another thing? Oh yeah, or go ahead, Donnie.
yeah, this is actually for you, Sergio.
Yeah.
Whenever she's saying insecurity, would you consider that insecure? Like, if a man literally has that, if a man has options, right? Do you think he would honestly say, if you go and sleep with another man, you're in a casket, and he's in a casket? If he really has
Oh
options.
yeah, you're totally right. Yeah, no, Donnie's right. So like, so I would say for the average guy, like the 80% man, like the average guy, they would say that, and it's because they don't have any other options. They're like, I want this pussy to be just mine. I want nobody else fucking touch it. But a guy with options, he really doesn't give a fuck about that shit at all. He's like, I got so many other pussies. Like you're just a dime in a dozen, and he's not gonna ever like tell you anything seriously or like that he likes sex with you or anything like that. He's just gonna like pump and dump you and then send you over to the next one.
Well, it's not just that. It's also he's very firm on his boundaries. Like, he's going to tell you how it is. If you step out of that boundaries, then it's like deuces, right? Because he doesn't give a fuck if you're going to take it or leave it, because he knows he has other things lined up for him.
Oh yeah, that's actually a good thing to bring up. So like those 4 relationships that you were in, would you say that they were in your frame or in his frame? So what that means is like who was making the rules in the relationship, who was the one that was kind of leading everything, and it's like it's this way or the highway kind of. Who in every one of those relationships was it usually in control, the man or the woman? Because usually one person's more in control than the other.
More of control, definitely them, but at the same time, it was like a mutual thing.
Because you would respect it. You were like, I will let you control me in this way because I respect you as a man, and like
Right.
I want this a little bit.
I mean, yeah.
I truly believe women don't know what the fuck they want. Like I have a true belief that y'all don't know what you want, and the second a guy gives you exactly what you want, you fucking hate them. and you'll even hate yourself because that's not even what you really wanted. Like, you need a man to tell you what you need. And like, the good men out there are the ones that aren't simp little betas and just give you everything that you ask for, what you want. They give you exactly what you need, and that's what truly makes you happy. And like these guys that, like, think about like the guy that's like a sugar daddy, and he just gets there and keeps giving the girl everything that she wants. Like, she'll end up miserable and depressed.
Right.
Like, seriously, like, she needs a guy to sit there and hold it down and be like, nah, bitch, this is what we're doing. Like, this is how it needs to be. Okay, maybe not the bitch thing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Women hate the B word. Got BB and Cheeks, $10. Let me read that real quick. Just landed back in America. My lord, everybody liked this damn video. See you soon, my guy. Yeah, everybody liked the video. And yeah, B and Cheeks will be on Friday, guys. I cannot wait to have him on the channel, man. This is gonna be a fun show, bro. I can't wait. I've been building a really good panel for you, bro. But yeah, so you had said that it was usually in the guy's frame. Um, would you, like, if you wanted to go out to the club one night and one of those guys was like, I don't want you to go out tonight, you would always be like, okay, yeah, I'm not gonna go? Or would it turn into a fight?
It definitely wouldn't turn into a fight. But for the most part, I would respect whatever, they asked of me, or it kind of depends on what the occasion would be. If it's just like to go one day, then like I'm staying home.
Yeah.
If it's like for a homegirls celebration or something like that, I'm probably gonna go.
Did you live with any of these guys?
One of them.
One of them?
Hmm.
I have like a strong belief that, like, it's not even like super serious if you don't live with somebody. Like, it's because that's when it's serious. That's when it's like, okay, I really get what type of person you are. I really understand everything about like who you are and if this is gonna work and shit. It's like, it's really hard to tell whenever you're just talking because you don't spend enough time with them to know who they really are as a person.
Yeah.
People just lie like crazy today, and men lie all the time. Like it's like our whole dating strategy is like lying so we can get things the easiest way possible. Like, I always say, like, love is manipulation, and like for a guy to get a woman to fall in love, like, it's usually a lot of manipulation at play, but it's like a it's like a good manipulation. Like, it's not a, if you really like him back and say he's protecting you from being manipulated by like a horrible person in the future, it is a good manipulation. Because there's guys that, there's some guys that are just super narcissist, horrible people that are going to ruin your life, beat you, do all the horrible things, you definitely don't want to be manipulated by them, but you want to be manipulated by the guy that's a really good guy that's going to take care of you. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay.
It's really fucked up. But that's just love. Like, even in the relationship, like, women are very covert, men are very overt, and how a woman shows love sometimes is like through respect, and it's very covertly. It's not like you're overtly like doing things and saying what you're doing. Like, you're just kind of like doing it low key, and that's what makes the guy happy. Like my girl, she just does stuff for me. It's not like I'm asking her to do it all the time. She just does it. That how I know that I'm respected is based off of what's just being done all the time around me. I wanted to ask, uh, what do you think your attachment style is? Everybody has a different attachment style, whether it's based off of their mother, their father, if they were raised in a two-parent household, if they had more love from one or the other, or what type of relationships they were in. What do you think your attachment style is? Are you the type where you push people away? Or are you the type where you like pull people in? Like, you're more codependent, or are you the more type where you push you're trying to always run from them?
I feel like it's more of I'm trying to run from people and I'm pushing them away.
Oh no, that's the worst one.
I guess so.
So, like, where does that come from, you think?
I feel like it's just come from friendships and like other relationships of just being like disappointed. So it's just like I'm gonna leave before you can even get the chance to disappoint me.
Did you see it with your parents at all?
Did I what?
Did you ever see that with your parents at all? Like,
No.
what, did you come from a two-parent household?
I did.
And they're both still together to this day?
No, not to this day. When I became an adult, they were,
That's when they were divorcing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, but so they had like a good, clean, good relationship the whole time. Like, your mom wasn't the type where every time there was a fight she would like leave or anything like that, or your dad wasn't the type where every time there was an argument he would leave or anything like that?
No.
Yeah, see, that's like usually it comes from stuff like that. So yeah, it just means that something bad happened in your first relationship. So, like, the first person that like you really had burning genuine desire for, like true devotion for, when did that happen? Like, how old were you when that happened? Sometimes it's not the first person you have sex with, and sometimes it's not your first relationship. But I'm talking about like the first time you really cared.
The first time because it wasn't like my first relationship when I like really cared.
How old were you?
When I really cared?
Yeah.
I was like on the cusp of 19.
And that was like which relationship was that? The second, third, fourth?
No, fourth.
The fourth one was when you really like started to care.
Yeah.
And then like even like sexually, like was that the first time like you really started to care sexually as well? Like it like was the best, I guess, or not really? Was it better
No, it was
before?
definitely the best.
It was definitely the best.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. It took 4 times, man. What was wrong with the first 3 losers?
There was nothing wrong. It's just like I definitely loved them, and I still, like don't want anything bad to happen.
What was
to
so
them,
special about the fourth though? Like I'm so curious. I really want to know. Was it like what was the vibe? Like was it the way he looked? Is he like super sex compared to the other ones? Like what was it?
It was just everything. He was like attractive. He was open minded.
What was his age compared to the other 3?
When I first started dating him, he was 31.
He was 31.
Mm-hmm.
And then how old were the other guys? All younger?
Yeah, they were all younger. The first
So-
guy was like 17. The next one was 25, and then 29.
Yeah, so clearly age was like a big deal of like determining like how much you were kind of down for it, like how much that vibe was there though, right?
Yeah,
And then so ever since that relationship ended, like how long ago was that? Like you said a few years ago, you were 19.
that one ended. Well, we were together for like 3 years, so that one.
So it just ended like not that long ago.
Last year. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And like, are you having a hard time getting over that? You think?
Not anymore, but I know for a good like 6-7 months. Oh, I was going through it. I was like, bro, no way.
So, but for 6-7 months, what got you over it? Did you meet a new guy that you kind of like felt like that vibe with again, and then kind of got you over him?
No, to be honest, I just started like I'm a little church girl or whatever. So I just got back into the word, reading the Bible and stuff like that. Because that's something I was slacking on when I was in the relationship. So, I just got back grounded and stuff like that.
So you think, but just doing that after 6-7 months just totally got him out of your mind though and stuff, or would you say like, do you even still think about it to this day?
I do, but not in that way. Like I was saying earlier, I don't want anything bad to happen to him.
If he hits you up like in a week or two and said, I really want to like fix this or like make this work again, what would you do?
No.
You would say no?
No.
No, not at all? What did he do that was wrong?
Oh my gosh.
And did you live with him?
I did not live with him. Oh, it's bad. I don't even know if I want to say.
Tell me. I want to know.
He was married.
He was married.
He was married, yeah.
Oh my God, dude. This is such a typical story. How many times have we heard something similar to this, Donnie? It's gotta be at like the 30th time we've heard something like this.
Really?
Yeah, but
Oh
no,
my
it's
God.
very common because y'all are like I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real with you really quick. Women be stupid as hell today. It's just like you like you knew all the wrong sides. Like you came from a good family. Like you, I'm sure your father is like a good guy and stuff. And like so you know better.
Looking back now, there were definitely some moments, that okay, maybe I should have picked up on this. But at the time, I guess I was like so in love, benefit of the doubt, even though there's.
Well, that's one of those like situations where you were 19 years old. You said when you met him, like one of those.
Yeah.
This is one of those serious like I have to argue all the time because I'm an older guy with a younger woman. Like I'm 32 and I have a 24-year-old girl. So like I always have to defend the point of like the older guy with the younger women thing. But this is one of those moments where it's making me hard to defend it because there's 31-year-olds that are doing shit like that and literally married and trying to manipulate and finesse a 19-year-old the best they fucking can. And like it's one of those things where like you're really naive. You should have known that you're super naive and a dumb 19-year-old and been like, you know what? I should fucking ask for it because women aren't able to discern on their own at all. Like men are very good at manipulating and lying. That's what we were built to do. That's how we get pussy. It's all based off of like saying whatever it takes to make you fall in love and be happy and stuff. So yeah, your dad or like a man in your life has to sit there and like make sure that you don't go run off and fall in love with things that whenever guys just tell you what you want to hear all day long. And if you never had a guy help you, then yeah, you're going to be screwed the whole time because you're sitting there falling in love with your ears like, oh yeah, he's saying all the right things. I love this. He's an older man. He has all these things that I want, and like low key, like you're just kind of dumb. Like you're not able to like discern like that type of shit. And then what's sad about it is like you can be alpha widowed by stuff like that. Like you fuck with a guy that's like that. Like the reason why I kept asking is like, are you over him and you're not thinking about him stuff is because a lot of times like you can be ruined by going through a situation like that, because you're always going to measure up every man up to him. Like if he was a certain caliber of man, and you're always going to expect the new guy to be as tall and strong or attractive or as smart or as rich or whatever it is as that person, and you'll be alpha widowed. Like you can't find anything to replace that. And it's good that you're going to church. Like I definitely give you props for going to church. Like that's the best thing that you could do. But at the same time, I would be worried about like the church, because it's not pushing good relationships right now. Like a lot of men that are good, masculine, strong men aren't going to church anymore because the church is giving up on them. And the church is like, basically, like if they're getting divorced or anything, it's always the man's fault. Like the man is this, the man is that. And like a big problem with divorces and cheating and stuff is it's always like the guy's fault. But in reality, we just need to understand that men and women are completely different. And like that guy, he's cheating, and the way that he did it, he's a lie. Like I'm guessing he didn't tell you for years, right? So he's a lying piece of shit. But like guys should just be honest about it, and there wouldn't be like at the bottom line is men and women are just completely differently. So I think that guys want to step out more often. He should have been honest with his wife. He should have been honest with you about those type of things, but he didn't do it.
Right.
But like, do you want to find a guy in the church? Is that your goal?
I mean, I would like, it doesn't have to be, they don't have to go to church, but I feel like they definitely need to have a relationship with God.
They need to have a relationship with God. Would you say that relationship with God though, like it can be completely outside of the church? Like it doesn't need to be in a church at all?
Yeah, it can.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay, yeah. No, then that's good. Braver Leach said, "Hey Sergio, have you read No More Mr. Nice Guy?" No, I haven't, bro. If that's a book, I'll have to Google it. I've never seen that one.
Hey, I got a question for
Yeah.
as well. So, getting out of a relationship, of course, we live and learn, right?
Right.
And Sergio just mentioned about discernment. Going forward, what are ways, or thinking back, I should say, to that relationship, what are ways that you could have discerned better to know that this guy was potentially married?
I'd say definitely paying more attention to the habits and how they spend their time.
And what does that consist of exactly, though? Like, for example, did you ever ask him, hey, do you want to hang out this weekend? He's like, no, I got to go to work. Like, what is it?
Yeah, it'd just be weird stuff. Like I knew his schedule, and then like all of a sudden this would happen, or like, oh, he has to go like back home where he's from or whatever, like at a random time. It'd just be like some weird stuff.
Yeah, you're just super gullible, huh?
But the thing is, there like some of the things it would be like, oh, it's like you can't really say anything about that. Like he had a kid, so like I have to go do this for my son. So like I'm not gonna say no, come with me and don't spend time with your son. So
Of course. Has he ever brought his son around you?
he has.
And then as well, has he ever invited you to his place?
Like once.
In 3 years.
Yeah, like that's one of the things, like looking back now, it's just like, oh my god.
So that's a discernment though, right?
Yeah.
Like that's an example of a discernment. Like, is he willing to bring you around his kid? Obviously, yes. Maybe that might be a stepchild to his wife or something like that, because that's kind of, damn, that's just real risky for a man.
No,
I would
that's
never
their
bring
kids together.
Shit, they must be having a pat together.
And-
Yo,
and-
little homie, don't say shit.
And did the wife know about you too?
Actually one day, the way that I found out he was married, we were talking about like rings and like, all that type of stuff. And it started to take a while, not just like, a couple months, or like it started to take a while. So I remember he FaceTimed me one day while he was at work. And I was just like, so, like, what's up? Just like, let me know. And he was like, actually, or he was like, do you think there's someone else? And I was like, I don't know. That's why I'm asking or whatever. And that's when he just told me. And so I put my little detective hat on and like I found her information or whatever. And I just let her know because like obviously he wasn't gonna tell her, and I just felt like she deserved to know.
Yeah. And so what happened when you told her?
I told her and she was like, oh my god. The first thing she said to me to make sure that I was telling the truth was like, what's his license plate? And so like
I'm surprised she didn't ask about like a weird tattoo spot or something.
No.
What's his license plate? What the fuck?
She asked what's his license plate. Has the kid been around me? When do I see him?
Damn.
What things has he done for me? Were we sexually active?
Damn. And like, did she tell you anything about like them not being sexually active? Like, she didn't like open up to you about anything?
She did a little bit. She was just telling me that they haven't been sexually active, or like that they were having problems and stuff like that.
Super weird, bro.
Yeah.
I think it's so like, but it all goes back to asking questions. I like that you peeled the layer back on the apartment thing, or like if she ever came over to his spot, Donnie, because that's so like, what's another, if a girl was in a similar situation as you that's going through the same thing, what's something that she needs to consider? Like the apartment thing, like, okay, he's never letting me go to his apartment. What's another like 2 or 3 red flags that you notice that now you would never let that happen to you again because you know better because of those things?
Okay, number 1 would definitely be the apartment thing. Number 2 would just be watch like mannerisms, like body language, like how things are said. Not to the T, but like pay attention, obviously, just because I mean you can kind of tell when someone's moving secretive. So
Yeah, they're having to lie about everything all the time and they forget their fucking lies.
yeah.
So now that you're like traumatized from dating because of that, yeah, do you think that you're gonna be able to like trust a guy, like if you meet like a really good guy, like are you gonna be able to trust him again and everything, like and do you feel like you're alpha widowed by this last guy, or do you think that you're not alpha widowed at all, like you can settle for a guy that's not as good as him?
I mean, he, oh gosh, like he
She's
wasn't.
alpha widowed.
No, he wasn't just like great, but like he was a great guy.
If he was better than most other guys, then he's pretty great.
On your dating standards,
No
that is.
comment.
No, like no comment. I got asked, what do you think the percentage of men is to women in the U.S.? Like, how many men do you think there are? How many women do you think there are?
I don't know, but I feel like there are more women in the world.
Like, how much do
than
you think?
in the
Just,
US.
just guess.
I'd say for every 10 women, there's 6 guys.
For every 10 women, there's 6 guys. So let's cut that in half. That would be like 5 and 3. So that would be like, what is that on percentage? 60%.
Women.
60% women is what you're saying? Like 60% women, 40% men? Is that what you think?
Yeah.
Okay. It's more like 50-50. But the reason why like women think that it's like a little bit biased and that there's more women than men is because like you don't see the normal guys. There's a bunch of like really good normal men, but you don't see like the guy at Taco Bell drive-through, like you don't see the guy that's stocking shelves at Walmart. Like they're literally fucking invisible. Like literally invisible. Like they're worth nothing. But in reality, there's a shit ton of guys out here that like you would maybe be interested in, but you only want a certain caliber. Like every woman is all hypergamous, which means that y'all like to date across it up social hierarchies. You don't want to date down. Like whereas like a guy, he'll literally date the girl that is at the Taco Bell drive-through. Like even if he's like a millionaire, like it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
Like it's always been like that. Like where hypergamy comes from is like they were doing studies on the caste system in India, and when they were doing studies on that, they would see like how the women at the lowest system were always constantly trying to go up to the highest ones, and it happened all the time. So hypergamy is really real, and you got to be careful because now that you've experienced a certain level of hypergamy, like whatever that guy was able to do that made you feel good, you're gonna literally live, or every guy you talk to from now on, you're gonna have to bring up to that certain par. And would you say that that's hurting you in dating right now? Like, would you say that like every guy that hits you up or something, you're kind of turning them away because they're not at his caliber at least?
I mean, most of the people that like, to be honest, he was just average, but like most of the people who hit me up now are
Above average?
above average, I'd say.
And why? Why are you going on at least dates right now? Yeah, she is, guys. She's lying. Like if it takes you that long to reply, you're lying.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you're going on dates right now, but it's just based off of like what? Be honest. Like you'll only go on a date if he looks like a certain way, or if it's to at least a certain level of spot because that means that he cares. Like what determines if you want to go on the date? If it's a fun date because it's axe throwing or something, like what determines make you want to go on and make you not want to go on it? The vibe with the guy.
To be honest, it's just all about conversation for me. Like I like to talk, so if you have something interesting to say, or you know how to keep a conversation going.
Are you doing online dating?
I guess Instagram dating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just Instagram, like you don't use Tinder, any of the
Oh
other.
no, I don't use those apps anymore.
Yeah,
And thank
anymore.
you for being honest. A lot of people don't realize Instagram is the biggest dating app there is right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like, how many guys would you say slide in your DMs just from Instagram, and like you don't meet them in real life first? Like you just they just find your profile and they hit you up, and y'all might end up meeting up in real life, but you never met them in real life, like before. Like, would you say like most of your hookups or not hookups, most of your dates are like? Sorry, I'm not trying to call you a hoe, nothing. Would you say most of the dates start like that? Like a guy can just slide in the DMs and it'll turn into a date?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd say that.
No, like, so you don't meet a lot of guys in real life then, like to date,
I do, like, if I'm getting lunch by myself one day or something,
and
someone
a guy
might,
walks up.
yeah,
How
something like that.
what's the percentage difference though? Like is that like 1 in 5? In all your dates, are they mostly just the guys sliding in on Instagram? I'm trying to really categorize how the guys
To be
hit
honest,
on you.
it's about half and half.
It's about half and
Yeah,
half. So okay. Now which ones end up better?
definitely the ones that, well, I can't say because I've had
Think
like
about
some
it.
good ones on Instagram.
But those good ones, what made them good?
Just
Be honest.
they have their own personality. They're not trying to be like anyone else.
So the Instagram people, they were like a whole vibe because of the type of personality that they were. They were like their own type of person, and that's why I like the Instagram people. And compared to the guys that you met in real life, what was the difference? Like you say that you vibe more with Instagram guys.
Right.
Did they have status?
Most of them.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that fucking explains it then. Yeah. So yeah, status trumps all
I mean, the
over
people in
anything.
real life, some of them had status too.
Okay.
It's
Well,
just in real life, I feel like they have to put on more of a facade. I mean, of course, on social media, people are putting on a facade, but it's like in that moment, it's just like I can kind of read through it.
so you like to go for a certain level of guy though, because you just said, even on the Instagram guys, the guys that you went on dates with, they were certain status. Okay, so like, and then you said even the guys from real life that you've talked to and you've gone on dates with, even one of them had status, or a couple of them did have some status. So you obviously like to chase a certain level.
It's not that I.
Because earlier you're like, oh, I could talk to a short guy. It's like all that's like honestly, like let's be real, like that's bullshit.
No, I could. I
No,
could
no,
honestly
no,
say.
but it's bullshit because your actions speak louder than your words. If your actions have been that you've gone on dates with people who have status, or you only pick and choose very wisely, that says a lot about you.
Well, okay, it may, but I know I'm not finna give someone my time who's just like a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, and that's
you're not
totally
Yeah,
fine.
deserving of my
That is
time.
I'm
totally
not
fine.
blaming you. I'm not blaming you at all. I would do that, but just be honest about it. Just say, yeah, I am shooting for only a certain caliber. Because like I could tell by your Instagram. Like the thing is, I read women like a book. Okay, I do. I like my whole show is nothing but women. Okay, I can tell how much validate. Basically, it's like a point. It's like a scoring system. Okay, so say like how many followers you have on Instagram?
Like 20,000.
Like 20,000. Okay, so basically
Damn.
you have like a bucket of validation. Okay, and there's multiple buckets of validation, and like your Instagram 20,000 followers, that's a certain level of validation. You might have like a 800 score there, okay? And then like say your beauty validation based off of your beauty, like I don't know what you'd call yourself. Most women call themselves a 9 or a 10, but say like I'm not saying this is what you are, I'm just saying a fucking number, but say you're an 8. Your little bucket for validation, since you're 8, that goes up to 700 points, and then like all these say like how many messages you get a day of guys hitting on you and stuff like that. Okay, well then that's another bucket of validation that goes up a certain amount of points. So whenever you get to this point where you have all this validation coming in, the only thing that can replace that is a guy with immense pre-selection or a guy with immense options, because those guys are extremely attractive to you, and that's the only thing that could bottle down your immense validation that you're getting from all these different things. And it's just very dangerous. Like this is why it's dangerous for women to get into careers, get into building up an Instagram profile, or like becoming like a social media personality, because all the validation you get from that, you expect to find a mirror image of that in a man, if not better. And it's just very hard to find. Like you're gonna have a very hard time finding somebody who matches. Just like how there's women today that are making $150,000 a year, and they're like, I need a guy who makes $250,000. And it's like, I understand why you want that, but I also understand that the percentage of guys that make $250,000 is fucking like 1%.
Yeah.
So it's just, or it's like 2%. So it's like, that's the problem with you sitting there, like I call it chat, like what you're doing is chat chasing. Like you're never gonna settle. Like you're never gonna settle, and it's because you have a certain validation score, and you're not gonna go. You need a guy with a higher validation score than you.
No. It doesn't have to be that way.
Then I would just say that you had already found like a really like I told you earlier, it's not hard for a woman to get a relationship. There's a million guys out here that would be in a relationship with you.
I mean, I'm
You're
talking to,
choosing that you wouldn't want to be with any of them.
like, I'm talking to someone right now that I'm really interested in,
But the guys that you really want, like any guy that you've had sex with over the last year, and say like it was good sex and like you really liked it and like you would like it to be serious, like since you're the gatekeeper of sex and he's the gatekeeper of relationship, it's not your fucking choice. like think about it. Like there has to be at least one guy that you're like really wanting to be with, and it's not your choice. Like it, like you can't make him be like loyal to you or be in a relationship with you, especially if you're going after guys with status.
I mean, yeah, that's true. But as far as sex, like, I'm not just, I don't like fuck people that I'm not in relationships with.
Are you like how long do you make guys wait now? Because I know you're doing the Christian thing and stuff now.
Until we're married.
Until you're married?
No, I'm just playing. But I mean, I don't really have a time frame, to be honest. It just, whenever I'm ready, and like when things have been shown, or like when we get to a certain level, then that's when that would happen.
Like what do you think though? Like what's since that last guy that you broke up with? Like what have you had sex since him?
I have.
Okay, and like how long did you make that guy wait? I already know the answer to this shit, bro. She fucking let him hit it like ASAP.
No, I want to say like 4 months.
Yeah.
What happened?
Shit. That's a long ass time, right?
Yeah, and what happened?
What do you mean? What happened?
Yeah, what happened? Like you spent 4 months vetting a guy, you let him hit, and you're not with him now. So what happened? Exactly. Like what happened? Come on.
Nothing.
It's not that complicated.
Nothing happened. I mean, like, we still talk to each other.
No,
We
you
still
made him
talk
wait.
to each other.
Okay, but like you're not going on dates with him. Y'all
No.
don't have sex.
It's, I don't want to say it's complicated, because it's not, like, we're not that close for it to be complicated, but I can explain it.
I got
my
a question.
gosh.
I got a question. I got to take a step back. So, the last guy you were with, was it the guy that was married?
Like in a serious relationship, yeah.
Yeah, like
The
a
guy
year
that
ago.
was married. Yeah.
Right.
That was whenever you were 19, right?
19 until a year ago.
But yeah, and then you're 22 now.
Right.
So that was the last relationship you're in, right?
Right.
Hold up.
So, it was like a 2.5 year relationship, I guess. So like 2 year relationship. If you were 19 to like 21, and you're only 22 right now.
Yeah.
So you kind of broke up with him, and then this new guy you've kind of been talking to, or you slept with, and he's the only other person you slept with since then.
Right.
Okay, and you made him wait 4 months.
Something like that.
This guy must be a loser.
Oh, he's not a loser.
If he's not a loser, then why don't you want to take him seriously? I don't understand. Like you vetted this man for 4 months to make sure he was whatever you wanted before sleeping with him, and then you're like, I mean, the sex must have been fucking horrible. Like what the fuck? Like why? Why would you not want to take him seriously after making him wait 4 months?
No, like, honestly, it's just the time. Like,
The vibe ain't there. Be honest,
no,
bro.
the vibe is definitely there. It's just I don't have
Barely.
time for real. It's like we don't have much time for each other, so it's difficult.
Not much time with each other, but still waited for you.
So
4
I mean,
months.
you make time for what you want to make time for. So like it speaks for itself. Like you can make time for him if you want to. If he's not making time for you, then he's not down for you. Which one is it? Are you not making time for him, or is he not making time for you?
I mean, I don't really like talk to him in that way anymore. So like,
Exactly. So the sex
present
was that
day-
bad?
like,
It was that bad? You can be
I'm
honest.
not answering those questions.
You can be honest.
I
Come
plead
on.
the fifth.
Okay, so what is your determination now? Are you gonna do that again? Are you gonna make a guy wait 4 or 5 months again? Do you really think making guys wait is gonna be the path of you becoming happy?
I mean, it could. Like the person that I'm talking to now, Like they don't live in state, so they just moved.
So like all those like old previous relationships, like and that's even worse. Like long distance is literally the most ignorant thing to do ever. Other than online dating, like long distance is the other worst thing you can do. So please don't do long distance. Like you're literally just using that guy for attention. Like it's not.
I'm not using them for attention.
You're definitely using him for
Yeah, but
attention.
I'm not though.
Yes, like the thing is, like women will definitely use a guy just for his energy, his attention, his time, just going and
I don't
eating and
do that.
shit.
That's a waste of my time.
Not really, because you can have multiple little like streams open. Like you can literally have like 20 different dudes open up at the same fucking time.
Yeah,
And like
that's
a guy
true.
is not the same. A guy will literally get one-itis and just be focusing on your ass. Men and women are not the same.
That's true, but like I'm just not that type of person. That's not just something that I find joy in or entertainment in.
Entertaining a bunch of dudes. But so like whenever it comes to, like you doing this thing where you make the guys wait, how many times have you let a guy hit like way earlier? Like those first four relationships and stuff. Like whenever it came to sex with them, what was the time period that you made all those guys wait?
Probably longer than 4 months.
Every one of them waited longer than 4 months. There's never been a time whenever like you let a guy hit on the first night.
No.
You've never like did it within a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a month or anything.
No.
And I'm okay. Obviously, there's a difference too. Whenever you're friends with somebody for a long time, and then y'all go out on a date, and then he hits it on the first night. Like I know that you knew him for 6 months, but he still technically hit the first night. And you're saying you've never done anything like that. None of those things.
No.
You've always made guys wait.
Yeah.
Even like the guy who was married.
He waited the longest.
How long did he wait?
Shit, till he had to drop the kids off.
Oh no, I love asking all these questions because I get to like fully break down
Yup.
exactly what type of person somebody is. So you're the type of person where you've always had nothing but betas chasing you. Because only beta guys will do that. Any guy that is an actual alpha guy doesn't fucking wait. They don't at all. Like they don't ever wait at all. Like I'll tell you, for me personally, I've never taken a girl on more than 3 dates in my life ever. Ever. If they didn't fuck me by the third day, I'm not fucking with you. And there's only 2 girls that made it to 3 dates. I have a handful that made it to 2. But for the most part, I know if a girl likes me or not after the first fucking date. If she's really down for
That
me,
doesn't mean I don't like you just because I won't fuck you.
it's about wanting somebody that has burning, genuine desire for you. Okay, so like some Bonnie and Clyde shit. A woman that's like really down for you. That's why I was asking you: have you ever really been in love with somebody, like had true devotion for them, had burning, genuine desire? Because that's completely different than like the other type of love where you're just like, oh yeah, this works out great. Like I love you. No, there's like that's one type of love, and then there's like that animalistic, fucking passionate, I love you type of shit. And usually, what happens for women is y'all get on a cycle where you have one person that you give it all to. One time, so I was asking if that one guy was one who you did this for, and you give all that devotion to somebody, and it hurts so bad when you lose that you're like, I'm never gonna fucking do this again for another guy. I always want to be in my frame. I always want it to be in my power and my control, and I don't want to give that devotion again because it's gonna hurt really fucking bad. And that's why relationships don't work for a lot of women, because they get into a cycle where they constantly end up with men that they're not truly in love with. They don't have burning, genuine desire for, like that guy that they let hit on the first night in Cancun 3 years before. There's something about that vibe that is just so much more intense and real. And so like it's bad whenever you sit there and you make every fucking guy wait. Like it's fine if you've done it all the time. Like say every guy you've always made wait 4 or 5, 6 months, whatever. You're not like the girl that's let the guys hit on the first night, but at the same time, you're going to filter a certain type of man. Every man that you're gonna fuck with now is a fucking beta, because all the dudes that will wait are those type of guys. There are some alphas that will wait, but you have to accept that they're gonna be fucking other women the whole time. And you might have had a few guys who told you that, who were like, yeah, I'll go on dates with you for the next few months because you're really cool, and like I really want to see if this turns into something. But just so you know, I'm gonna be like going on dates with other girls, or I'm gonna be sleeping with other girls. And usually in that case, like then you're making the right decision, because you can sit there and wait. And if after 6 months or whatever you finally do it, and he's like, all right, I'll be loyal to you, like I like you the most, or like I want to take you seriously, and you can win him over that way. But that's the only way you can win over alpha, in my opinion. Most of the guys that you're gonna end up filtering to yourself are fucking beta losers. Am I wrong? Have you been dating a bunch of fucking alpha dudes?
I wouldn't say a bunch, but some.
Are you just dating them, or are you literally just getting like you're not even really dating them though? Like that's the thing. Like alpha dudes literally just play with women. Like they're not really taking you seriously. Like do you feel like there's a guy that is really an alpha dude that has been trying to take you seriously lately?
Yes.
Really? And he's not just like a simp who just fucking gives out his money, energy, attention, and time to like all these other women.
No, not at all.
He only gives it to you.
I'd hope so.
Really? Is it the guy who like you've slept with recently? Like, is it that guy?
Yes.
And you think that he's the type that he doesn't give out to any other people? Is he a church man or anything? He goes to church like often, like every Sunday.
Yeah.
Did you
Not
know
every
that?
Sunday, but often.
Did you know that like 60 to 70% of people in men in church are addicted to porn?
I believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want you to understand, like, just because
I'm not saying
somebody's
the
from the
church
church,
people. Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
saying that they're like perfect.
I would
at
actually
all.
say they're the worst. I would honestly say they're the fucking worst. Like, I actually have way more respect for people that have church outside of the church. Like, people that, like, men that are of God, but they don't preach it to everybody else. Like, it's almost a fucking red flag if they sit there and, like, talk about it all the time.
Yeah,
I would actually
agree.
consider them more of a red flag than the guy who says, you know what, I'm not fully in church or anything, but I fucking respect God and I look up to God and all this different stuff. I would be, I don't know, I'd be super worried about that guy if I were you. Let me see that $2 from Tradition and Mile Tops. So, ma'am, question: what do you want in this life? Yeah, what do you want?
In all aspects.
Yeah, what do you want?
Well, I mean, I want to like continue to grow my business, be successful. I want property. I want a family, a husband, obviously.
If you had to like prioritize all those things, what's at the highest priority? Like the number one thing you want of those things?
Number one thing would definitely be family. A family of my own. Number two would be like career.
What do you think is like, like that's what you want in life? What do you think the guys that you want? What do you think he wants in life? The guy that you want, the guy you want the most.
That's tough, but I'd go ahead and say career first.
You say career first,
Mm-hmm.
and then like what, family after that or something?
Right.
Okay. Do you think that you focusing on like your money, career, anything like that will be a burden to you in finding a man or not at all?
I don't think it would.
You don't think it would at all? You can be honest if just a little bit.
Like moving forward from like, like from currently to like in the future, I don't think it would.
You don't think it would at all?
No.
But so would you say that a guy looks for that in a woman, like her being a career woman, her being good at making money and that type of stuff? Like is an attractive trait to a guy?
Yeah, I feel like it.
No. It's actually the opposite. I would be so scared if you run into a guy and he says that, it's so attractive that you're a hustler and you're and all this stuff. It's a red flag because a guy should want to take care of you as much as he
for
possibly
sure.
can.
I agree, but I'm saying like I don't think a guy just wants to. There's a difference between providing for someone and providing for someone who's just like not doing anything with themselves. So that's what I meant.
I would just make sure you don't ever lead with like the business stuff. Like that's why I asked you what's your biggest priority, and you said family. Always lead with that. Always lead with all I give a fuck about is a family. Like even on a date, like talk about that more than anything else, more than business, more than finance, more than anything, because that's like what's gonna be attractive to a guy is you wanting to be a nurturing, loving mother. And like you're only 22 years old, and you're saying I'm not focusing on it right now. I don't want to pay attention to it right now. That's all cope. Like I'm just like let's be honest. Like women want to be in relationships. Like if you could be in a relationship with the man of your dreams right now, you would fucking do it in a heartbeat. Like if he was that guy, you would take it in a heartbeat. Especially if it was trying to provide you the life that you truly want, give you the family that you truly want, and everything. You would take it. But the fact of the reality is, you can't have that. Like
I haven't found that person yet.
well, yeah, it's very hard to find. You're not. I would argue that you're not gonna find it. Like because if you look at statistically like where guys are financially and stuff, and like how the breakdown of like the sexual marketplace is, where there's 33% of men that are sexless right now at the bottom in your age bracket from 18 to 30, and then there's the guys up at the top that are fucking all the women, and none of them are going to stay loyal, and all of the women like you are all chasing that top bracket of men. And then, well, actually, you're just chasing the beta dudes. But the thing is, you're never going to be satisfied by them. You like if you're constantly looking at all this validation and all these other things that all these other men have, you're never going to be satisfied with a fucking beta dude that you make wait 4 or 5 months. There's like a huge problem today with like dating strategies. Basically, like me and you have complete like as a guy, I have a completely different long term strategy and a completely different short term strategy from you. Like your short term strategy is if I'm gonna have short term sex or short term mating, it just needs to be the hottest guy possible. Like I mean, why the fuck would I want to fuck like a weird ugly short dude? You know, like you just want to. It's short term. You're just trying to have fun. You know, your long term mating goal is to get a good beta provider, a dude that's going to not run away after you get pregnant. He's going to provide for you. He's going to be good and loving and good father to the kids. Not the type of person to run away later like the alpha will probably do. So that's your strategy. My strategy, though, is for my long term, I want a woman with burning, genuine desire for me and that is really down for me. And I don't get that from the girl who makes me wait 4 or 5 months. So like that's where we get into this really weird area where you end up fucking around with these guys that are doing their short term strategy, which is just fuck hot girls, and you're trying to do your long term, and they're just constantly doing short term. And this is the problem for every woman today because that's trying to do the long term strategy. And in my opinion, you have to kind of do a combination of both. You have to do like a short term strategy where you sleep with them fast, but then you provide value to them so then they don't want to drop you like all the other girls that they drop all the time. But then you can accidentally run up a high body count if you gamble bad and you go to the wrong guys over and over again. So it really just depends how good you are at discerning. Unless, or you can just be with the beta bucks, dude, and you can just always make these guys wait, end up with the beta bucks, and you're
I
not
mean,
gonna like it. But
I'm fine with making them wait. Sorry.
you're
Um,
you're well, but like, are you okay with it? With always wanting to try something better? Like, if you always make these guys wait, there's always gonna be men out there that you're attracted to that are better. Like you deep down know that there are men that are way better than this guy because why would this guy sit around and wait? Like I'm telling you, the top guys don't wait. They never wait like that.
well, then I guess I'm not looking for a top guy.
Yeah,
Then.
so you can end up with a beta dude. But I mean,
I guess so.
so like, what do you think your purpose in life is?
My purpose is definitely to help people. Through ministry and within, finances, like day trading and stuff like that.
Yeah, save them from their financial doom. What do you think is a man's purpose? I would say in general, there's like showing God to everybody is definitely like a general purpose for everybody, but I would say there's like a purpose for men and women that's like kind of rooted in natural law. What do you think a man's purpose is?
Provide and guide.
Provide and guide.
Yeah.
Okay. So like what I like to teach is that a man's purpose is to create things. Like if I got to like 50, 60 years old and say I never created anything, say I never built anything for myself or never saved or had a family or anything like that, like I would be a very depressed person because as men, like we build things, like that's what we're interested. Even when we're children, we're playing with cars and we're building things. Like that's what men always do is we build things. That's like the sewers, the buildings, everything. We built it. We like things. Okay. Women, though, y'all's natural order is to create people because that's what y'all do. Women are able to create children. Obviously, I can't as a man. So men create things, women create children. So really, on a natural level, a woman's purpose is always to create families because that's what you're able to do and nobody else can do it. Y'all are hypersocial. You're built. You're mentally able to just do that way better than a man will ever be able to do. And the reason why I bring this up is because, like, at your age, at 22, you're at your peak market value right now. If we looked at a chart, for a woman at 22, that's y'all's peak market. A guy's peak market value is at 32. Because a guy at 18 years old, unless he's captain of the football team or something like that, he's a loser. Like he's just a normal dude. He has to get his savings up, learn how to trade, learn how to get women, learn how to have sex. Like he has to learn all this stuff, and it takes him years to get good at all those things. So that's why his peak value is 32, 33, 34, 35. Once his savings is up and once his experience is up. Yours at 22, because it's right now, this is the time when you're able to lock down the best possible guy that you can, especially for marriage. And if you do want to have kids, which is in your purpose, in my opinion, I want you to start focusing on it as soon as possible because if you put this off for 5 years, 10 years, or something like that, you can hit something called the wall. I don't know when the wall is going to happen. It's a mental thing. That's every woman's different. Some women are stunning and they got the greatest skin ever and they don't hit the wall until they're 37 or something because they're still pulling guys left and right. But you're going to hit a point where you realize, okay, I'm not pulling men like I did when I was 22. I'm not like, I don't have all the DMs. I don't have all these guys coming for me. This is weird, you know? That's why girls in their 30s and stuff, they're getting all this shit done, getting their ass, their tits, their lips, because they're trying to compete with the 22-year-old, with you. They're like, fuck, this girl's taking all of it. I have to do whatever I can to compete. And you don't want to end up one of those girls. So, like, one of my biggest advice I always give is you just really, really, really need to try to find that guy. So now I like to ask, though, do you think that you should chase the man or do you think that the man should be chasing you?
I feel like the man should do more chasing.
He should do more chasing?
Right.
So who's the prize, though? Do you think the man's the prize or the woman's the prize?
Both.
Both? Why? But so, we'll say on an emotional level, you know, just like on a grand basis, like it is equal. But like on a physical basis, like if we really look at things physically, men and women and stuff, who is really the prize? Like who really brings more to the table if you really think about it?
In my, like,
Even
I would
if it's
say, I
just
would say
51%,
I
even if
would
it's
say
just a
the
little bit.
man.
The man?
Yeah.
Okay, so if that's the case, though, doesn't that mean that you should chase for that prize?
To a certain extent. That's
To a
why,
certain
yeah, I
extent?
wasn't just like, only the man has to
Well, like the
chase.
problem is like back in the day, so like whenever a guy wanted a girl to, or a girl wanted to go on a date with a guy, like she could drop her handkerchief, and then it's like the guy's like, oh, I have to go pick this up and talk to her, and that was like her little way of teasing or like showing I'm into you, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Example also, like when I was like 13 years old and I wanted to go to the movies with a girl, I knew that she liked me because we were passing notes in the class or something. There was some way of me telling that she had a crush on me. So when I asked her to go to the movies, I know for a fact she's going to say yes, and I know that she likes me. Like I know that like that it's not just a waste of our time. But what happens all the time today though? Like how often do women go on dates with guys that they're not interested in, that they would have never dropped the handkerchief for, they would have never had those notes passed in that class, you know, like they're literally just going for the experience, like for the meal or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
And so because of like women killed chivalry, and like since y'all killed chivalry by going on dates with anybody now, it doesn't, you have to pursue now, because we don't know, like especially like the guys that are of a certain caliber, they're not going to sit there and waste their time, like their money, energy, attention, and time chasing all these different types of women all the time. They're going to wait for the ones that have burning genuine desire for them to come to them. Like even with my girl, I didn't pursue her, like she came to me, and like I showed her that I was into her, but she, at the end of the day, she was the one that was like bringing me her number and like saying, yo, like I'm down to go on a date. And I really think that today, especially, like if you like a certain guy, you need to make sure you pursue all the time. Are you the type where you don't mind going up to a guy and asking for his number and stuff?
Oh yeah, I've always been that way.
You've always been that way? And would you say that like that works out well every time? Like every time you've done that, it's always been like a good thing?
For the most part, unless they tell me that, they have a girlfriend and I see, oh, like the girlfriend's in the car. He just came in the store by himself.
Oh man, you'd be macking on dudes at the groceries or at the gas
It just
station and
depends.
shit?
Like, that's an example.
Nah, that like, it sounds like you'd be trying a lot. What Bang Tango say? Purple Pod Rolo is right. You can't teach them red pill. Red pill for women is realizing hypergamy is in a straitjacket. You can teach them, man, but it's really hard without a panel. If she had another panel of girls here, if I had a couple pick me's on the panel to like give her examples, it would be a whole different discussion. But whenever I am just you're a bang tango, I would agree that a one on one, yeah, you can't convince a woman of anything because you know that they're a hive mind. Like they really, really, really think how other women think. And that's why if I had a panel with say 4 women on here and say 2 or 3 of them were like agreeing with me on like damn near everything, she'd be like, okay, yeah, he's right. Especially if they were older, like around my age too. Women really learn from women. The Bible even talks about this, that a lot of what I teach, it's going to be way better when a woman teaches it to another woman. I know I like to talk about how women learn this stuff better when a guy yells it at them, but that's only the ones that came from a good father or a good household where they had a strong father figure that talked to them that way. These women that came from trauma and shit like that, they're way more likely to listen to the pick me women that come on the panel sometimes. Um, I gotta ask you really quick, what do you think a pick me is?
Well, in my opinion, a pick me is kind of like someone who, like, how can I explain it? A pick me to me is just someone who does something that like a guy wants, or
Like
like
anything?
they think that a guy will like if they do or say something like.
Would you ever consider yourself like in any way a pick me? Like sometimes you will act a certain way or do certain things
No, not
to
at all.
please guys? No,
No.
not at all.
If I'm with them, like if we're in a relationship, but if not, no.
What do you think a simp is?
A simp, I would consider. How would I describe a simp? Like a pick me, but a male.
A pick me but a male?
Yeah.
So I like to actually compare it to that, you know, like they're very similar. They're both derogatory terms for basically like the same thing on the other side. But the thing is, it's all about like is it an unequal exchange of value? So like I would say a guy's a simp if he takes you on 8 dates and you never give him a peck on the cheek. Like you never even show a sign of you liking this guy or any type of anything in return, but he's just constantly giving so much, or maybe he buys you a bag. He's like constant. That's a simp because it's so unequal. It's a super unequal exchange of value. So like it's not simping for me and my girl because she does so much for me that I'll do whatever she needs all the time because she's doing so much for me all the time. So that's not ever a simp. So can you give me an example of like what is a pick me trait, or like what is something that a girl would do that you'd be like, okay, that's a pick me.
Hmm. I used to have a friend. She was talking to this one dude or whatever, and I guess he was like going through it like financially, emotionally, or whatever. So he would tell her like other girls wouldn't do this stuff for him or let him have this money, or whatever the case may be. And she was like, "Oh, it's okay. Like I'll do it," or "What do you need?" or "You can come get this," or "I'll take you there," or whatever the case may be.
Just her trying to do whatever he needs.
Right.
So like if he did nothing for if he does absolutely nothing for her, like if he's never helping her out, never buying her food, like never doing anything in return, then yeah, she's a pick me. But if she does all that devotion because he's showing a ton of devotion to her, that's not a pick me. That's just a good girlfriend. Just like how a guy isn't a simp if he's doing a bunch of stuff for his girl when she's doing the same for him.
Yeah, I
That's
agree.
just a good guy.
Yeah.
It's not a simp. And so like I would just be careful because like a lot of things that get called pick me is actually not a pick me thing. It's just her, trying to get devotion. And like I said, if she's sitting there trying to get devotion and he doesn't give it back, she's stupid.
Yeah,
But
he would
like,
only hit her up like at those times when he needs something. So that's why I gave that example.
yeah, I mean, I would just feel like being a pick. I mean, just like how being a sim can be a good thing, being a pick me can be a good thing as long as it's coming back, and like you're getting in return. With like we were talking about, like you make guys wait. You're going to church. Like you're doing this good girl thing and stuff. Why are you fighting to be able to go to the club in a relationship? Because earlier you said that like you still want to be able to go to the club, like once a month. Like if you're a good Christian girl, the club is for single
I
people.
don't go to the club anymore.
Okay, but you said that at least once a month you would maybe want to go.
Yeah, like if that were the case, but like I'm not going to the club.
So like if you got a new relationship, you wouldn't be going to the club at all.
No, I haven't been going for the past year.
So like, okay, and then what about girls trips? Like you said, you want to go on one once a year. Would you still go on girls trips?
I mean, probably
That's some city girl
it
activity.
depends because it's pretty much the same thing you would do, like in your hometown or whatever. You're just somewhere else.
Really? It's the same? There's like no difference? Like you going hours away with a bunch of other girls?
You're just somewhere else. It's the same thing.
Well, I know. So like I mean, you just kind of agreed that like you're not going to go to the club. Like you wouldn't want to be going to the clubs anymore anyway. So why would you need the vacation then if it's the same thing? You just said it's the same thing.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
I just want to know like how much you're gonna fight for it. Like how much would you really want something like that? Like are you gonna stand on? Are you gonna stand on that? Like that you really need like the vacations with your girls?
I didn't say I needed them.
Yeah,
But
that's what I'm
yeah.
saying. I want to see. I want you to stand on. I want to see like if you really really would like think that you would sacrifice that for a relationship.
Yeah, I would.
And okay, so girls' nights out. You won't do the girls' trips. What's the other thing that makes a girl a good girlfriend, Donnie? Oh, no, I can't think of it.
No Instagram.
Oh yeah, the Instagram stuff. You got 20K followers on fucking Instagram, but it's her business. Say you meet a guy and he is fully financially. This dude makes $1 million a year. Okay, y'all aren't ever gonna worry. He's actually gonna let you run a bunch of his fucking accounts because he has so much extra income. He's gonna let you run like a 401k account for him or IRA account or something for you to wheel some strategies or something. Sell some options for him or something, and so you're going to be able to make way more money because he's going to give you a big bag to sit there and try to turn into more and stuff. But he's gonna say, "Look, babe, I don't like you having 20,000 followers on Instagram and all this validation. I don't want you to like do those type of things anymore. Yeah, you can have a side business, but I would like it to be something else where like you're not having to talk to DM people or like having to talk to clients or men or all day. Like I'd like you to do something else that's more of a hobbyish and just more chill where you're not having to talk to guys all the time." But hey, I'm making $1 million a year. We're living the greatest life ever. You're sitting in the Rolls Royce. Like we're talking like he's giving you the perfect wifey life, and you're gonna have babies with him. He doesn't cheat either. He's a perfect, loyal man. Are you going to be able to like give all that up? Like, would you give up your Instagram to be able to have that perfect man?
I would say I would give up my personal Instagram, but however, like I do make money from social media, so
But I just explained that like you never have to worry about money again. Like he's literally making $1 million a year, and obviously like you're probably not pulling $300,000-400,000 or $500,000 a year, from selling courses. Like you like you really would give up that guy making $1 million a year. He's gonna give you a big old check every week, allowance for you to play with and do all your trading and whatever you want. You still wouldn't give a shit. Like you would still choose your business Instagram over that.
yes.
So I got to run on to that too, because earlier in the show you said, of course, you're only looking for someone that's equal to or higher than you accomplish wise. And in reference to that, you spoke about income. You said that income was $75,000. So you're telling me if a guy, remember, you're only willing to date somebody that makes equal to, and your limit, your minimum limit was 75,000. But if you get a guy that's a millionaire
Making
and he
a
doesn't
million a
want
year.
you to have an Instagram, you're telling me you're still going to take that Instagram because you make money? Trust me, I'm pretty sure you're far off from a million. If your minimum limit is 75, if you're saying, hey, he has to be equal to me.
And you would still choose that. Like you would still choose to make, 100, 150, 200K over being with the guy with $1 million a year, but you just have to take down the Instagram.
Shit, I'll give up all of the
Bro,
internet
no.
for fucking $1 million,
I want everybody to see this, bro, because this is a perfect example of how fucked up Instagram is, especially for the fucking lower generation, the 22-year-olds and under. This is crazy, bro. You're literally willing to give up the perfect life that some fucking people would do anything for. Like I'm talking fucking kill for.
I didn't
And
give
you're
my
like,
answer yet.
huh?
I didn't give my answer
You
yet.
did.
You're
You said
thinking
that.
of it.
Yeah,
You're
but you
sitting there
said
thinking
multiple
a lot
times
hard
that,
on it.
like you wouldn't do it.
Like, okay, Instagram in general, or like could I have like a business page? Just no pictures of me, no nothing.
Since we're saying such extremes, I want to take it to the extreme of no Instagram at all.
And you know why we
Like
say Instagram?
at all.
No Instagram? Because earlier in the show, you even
I
openly
brought up
admitted,
Instagram.
you said that it's the number one dating app. So
Yeah.
why would you still stay on that kind of market?
That's why
If you're saying claiming it's, if you're acknowledging that it was the number one dating app, we didn't even say that. You said that.
that's why I was asking, like, just no pictures of me and like my personal or like that. But
I'll
if
give you an
that's
example. Like my girl has like 100 followers on Instagram, and no ass pics, like no bikini stuff, like nothing like that. It's just that's all it is. Is it's just like, could you bring yourself back to like that normal?
yeah.
Yeah, and like and you would sacrifice, the the business Instagram and everything for that guy who makes $1 million a year. I just
The only reason why I'm thinking about it so hard is because it's like at the end of the day, I still like to have my own without someone else. Like
but think
100%.
really,
Your relationship is your
but
own.
like think really hard why, like why, like think about it really why.
I don't know. Like I
It's
I
it's
guess that's
it's
just
validation. It's you get attention from it. Like there's like it's obviously something that it brings you some dopamine rushes.
no. I'm not saying like for like the root would be like me having my own at the end of the day, like not just 100% relying on.
But it's just
else.
crazy because 10, 20 years ago, we didn't have any of these things. Like, they weren't even a thing. And now today, women will sacrifice relationships for it. And that's what makes it so crazy. It's just an app. It's just an app on your phone, you know? But people will literally sacrifice because it's the biggest dating app in the world today. And it's your ability to be open to all different. You never know if a blue check is going to slide in and hit you up. That's why it's really hard to fucking like not want to have it up. You love the opportunities that can come from it. That's all it is opportunity. And you know what's crazy is like, have you been in relationships with guys like other than like the guy that like was cheating on his wife and stuff like that, but like, or just tried to date guys and you're like, ew, because you noticed that he followed a bunch of girls or OnlyFans, or like maybe you saw he likes tons of girls' bikini pictures, and you're just like, this is unattractive, you know? Have you ever seen something like that? Okay, so like, I'm the type of guy where I think it's simping to do any of that type of stuff. Like I believe I have a very hard stance on simping. Whereas if I give out any of my money, energy, attention, and time, and I get nothing in return, it's simping. So all these girls with bikini pics, if I like their picture and they never liked my picture, they never talked to me before, like they've never followed me back or anything, that's simping to me because I'm giving out validation and I'm getting nothing in return.
Right.
Okay, so whenever, why am I saying this? So like whenever a woman is or whenever a guy is giving out validation, like I was trying to bring it back to like what you were doing. I can't really fucking remember it though. Validation, simping.
Well,
No.
I got something.
Yeah, what?
You know, I do kind of want to back up a little bit because I want to give you a little bit of game, and this is discernment 101. So let's do this.
Would it revert, Terry?
So a little while ago, whenever we put up the super chat, where our last super chat, let me throw it up real quick. And this was the question: what do you want in this life? And the very first thing initially, you said career. Then you mentioned family, which was great. And then Sergio asked you, well, if you were to put it in order, if you prioritize it, what will be important to you? The very first thing that you mentioned then, you said family, not your career. So then whenever Sergio asks you, if you have a man that makes $1 million a year and asks you to get rid of your Instagram, and you say, you still kind of question it, and you say, I want to keep the Instagram because I make money on it. So this is real discernment right here. Do you really care about your family more, or do you care about your career? Because I can guarantee you, your Instagram is not getting you the income that your career is actually getting you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Then the Instagram would have to go.
Yeah. Okay, so that's what I was bringing it back to was the validation thing. So like what the like problem that, you know, like you don't like a guy who's sitting there and was doing all that stuff. Well, a woman's dating strategy is you just put yourself out there. Like you're not the person who's the salesman trying to go and pitch and stuff. You're just the advertiser. You just put yourself up in a nice picture, and guys, even not in a bikini, I'm just saying, if you just post a nice picture on Instagram, you can get some DMs from a guy because you're advertising. Like that's your strategy, is to just advertise yourself. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
A guy's strategy is to pursue, right?
Right.
They're constantly DMing, they're liking girls' pictures, they're following new girls. Like they're constantly having to search for the girl because that's what the guy's strategy is. What's messed up today is like you can be talking to a guy and your strategy is completely open. You have an Instagram completely open in public for any guy to follow you. Any guy can message, can DM, can like a picture, anything like that. Your opportunities are always open there, okay? And this happens in relationships all the time today. Now, like I said, I think it's simping for me to show any type of validation to women, so I don't do this. But I see in tons of relationships today where a girl will complain about having a boyfriend that's liking girls' pictures and following girls and messaging other girls. But then you look at her Instagram and she's fully still advertising herself, doing her sexual dating strategy. So why do we let women do their dating strategy and then we shame men for still doing theirs in the relationship? They're both fucking up.
Right.
When you're in a relationship, you just shouldn't have an Instagram that's like that because I don't have the feeling of guys DMing my girl or anything like that because like I said about her, how her Instagram is and stuff, I don't have to worry about it. So I have no urge to want to seek out other women because I don't ever feel insecure that my girl's getting hit up by a bunch of dudes. So, but I can kind of understand why those guys do that shit because it's like they kind of feel really fucking insecure and weird about seeing all these dudes hitting their girl up all the time, and they're like, well, if she has constant paths and avenues and opportunities of me getting taken away from me, I'm going to talk to girls all the time and I'm going to hit on girls all the time. So then I always have my opportunities open too. I would just strongly, if you meet a guy who's doing stuff like that, like maybe consider, oh, it's because I'm doing all this on my end. Like I'm advertising myself and that's why he's doing all this. Now, like I said, I'm
Right.
not that type of person, but I just wouldn't want to be with somebody like that. What was that person that was saying? I thought somebody asked a question, but no, they
Nah.
weren't. Um, Whenever it comes to like you, like picking a guy soon, do you think that you're going to walk away, from everything that like we talked about at this table with like a different preferences, or like maybe looking for something different than like what you did in your past, or do you think that you still have like the same preferences and everything so far after from what we talked about?
I think I still have the same preferences, to be honest.
Yeah, you're still going to like do all the same strategies and the same things, like make them wait the same amount of time and keep doing all that same stuff. You think?
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that if you meet a guy though, and say you're making him wait, you want to do like the make him wait a long time, but say the vibe is there after just a couple weeks or a month, like y'all second date or third date or something like that, would you consider, maybe like letting him hit if he's a good guy, like if he's
I mean,
showing a
it
bunch of
really gotta
signs?
be there.
Yeah, yeah, but obviously, I'm saying the vibe has to be there. Like it's not just like just anybody, but like he's like an exceptional person. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, not. I just really want you to know, and like, if that happens, like, I just don't think there's anything wrong with it because that means that you have burning, genuine desire for him. And I'm telling you, guys that recognize that, guys that have slept with a lot of women or they have a lot of experience, they know what that looks like. Like, they really do know. So, say like you meet a guy and you're like, man, he's so attractive. Like, all the women are chasing him. Like, this is awesome. Like, I would like he's so cool and he makes good money or whatever it is. Don't be scared to like have that vibe with him after like a shorter period of time, but then you provide more value to him afterwards. Like I'm not sitting here saying let him hit after just like a week or two, but I'm just saying provide value to him afterwards and you have to worry about it. A lot of women your age end up sleeping with a guy and thinking, oh, all I have to do is have sex with him, or all I have to do is just text him, or like basically you think that you're the prize and you just need to have the mentality of, oh, he's such a badass, I need to do whatever it takes to lock this motherfucker down. Like, would you say in all your other relationships you had a lot of devotion for your men? Like, were you willing to like work for them? Does that make sense? Like where you're like you're willing to do whatever they ask at the time. Like if he's like, I need you to do this like right now. Like, can you go do this? You would do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had like good devotion.
Hmm.
And then like, would you feel like that you're scarred from giving devotion from any man in the past, and it makes it harder for you to want to show that devotion now? Or if you meet a new guy, it's easy for you to be like, I'll do anything for you. I'll help you with this. I want to come over and cook for you. Is that easy for you to still have that?
Yeah.
Okay,
It
well then yeah,
is.
you're good. If you don't mind me asking, like, like what's your body count?
It's, in my opinion, it's low, but 7.
Is it is that something that you would consider like for your age a high or a low number?
Should I consider that low?
Because you have a lot of friends that are like sleep around more than that.
That, and then just what I see on social media or the stories, like when I was in the club, like I'd overhear conversations and stuff like that.
And so, but of your friend group, are you like one of the least hoe girls in your friend group? Like the girl that sleeps around the least?
I would say, yeah.
Yeah. And then if your boyfriend like knew that like you had single friends, or like say like your boyfriend was like, hey, I don't want you hanging out with those girls anymore because they're all single, would you be like, okay, I will never do that. Like I'm not gonna go hang out with them anymore because they're single.
No.
I just want to see
I
how
mean,
far you'll
I don't
take it.
really hang out with them a lot now, so it just really depends, like what activities they be getting into. It just depends.
If let's be honest here. Do you think that your single friends would want you to stay single?
Probably.
So like, do you understand like why a guy would be
Yeah,
so serious about like
it
not
makes
wanting to be
sense.
around that? Yeah, because birds of a feather flock together, and like whenever it comes to money, also I don't like I wouldn't want my girl being around a bunch of women that like spend money a certain way or just have certain financial habits, because it's like I'm a super frugal person, like hyper frugal. So it's like I had to be with a girl that's on my in my frame when it completely comes to financial stuff. So I don't like a woman that's blowing money and doing a bunch of stupid shit all the time. I like care every dollar you save right now is $7 in the future when you're retiring at 60. So I take that shit very seriously. Um, Guys, we're gonna go ahead and close out. I just wanted to ask you though, really quick for a last question. what is like the biggest thing, like if you're talking to a guy like right now, like somebody that like you want that you're going on dates on right now, or a guy that like you see yourself probably sleeping with over the next month or two, or you're texting right now and you hope to go on a date soon. Do you have any question for any of those specific guys about them right now that they've been texting you or they've been acting away and you're like, why are they doing this? Like, why is he barely text me or anything like that?
No.
You don't have any problems with them? Do you think you have a very easy time like pulling guys?
Yes.
Yeah? It's easy?
Yeah.
Do you know what a femcel is?
What is that?
You know what an incel is?
An incel?
Yeah,
What
have
is
you ever
that?
heard that on the internet or
I've
anything?
never heard of that.
So an incel is like an involuntary celibate. So like that would be like a guy that can't get sex. So like a guy that can't get we're like, remember I said 30% of men in between ages of 18 and 30 are virgins or ain't or haven't had sex this year. So they're all incels technically if they can't get sex. A woman that's a femcel, it's a little bit different because obviously you can get sex. You could go pop your ass up outside and you could probably get sex in 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like obviously sex is easy for a woman to get. So a femcel isn't going to be the same as what it is for a guy incel. It's going to be an equivalent. What do you think is the equivalent of a guy that can't get sex? A woman that can't get what?
What, she can't get dick?
Well, I mean, that's why I said she can get sex easily, so it's definitely not that. What's an equivalent?
I don't know what.
What are
Money, time?
what are women the gatekeepers of? Sex,
Yeah.
right? So that's why he's an incel because he can't get past the gatekeep, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are men the gatekeepers of?
Relationships.
Yeah. So what does it make the femcel if she can't get past that gate? A girl that can't get relationships.
Right.
So I would argue most women today are femcels because they can't get a relationship with the guy that they want. And so like my big thing, or like my big challenge to you is just don't be a femcel. Like go get a good relationship with a guy when you're 22 years old and you're your peak market value, and you can get the 30-year-old guy that's a millionaire that's killing it or something right now, and just don't lead with your business and stuff like that because that's not what's attractive. It's the nurturingness of a woman taking care of their kids and stuff. But no, good job that you have a career that you could do from home and you can like still have kids and stuff. I want you to actually plug well not yet, but like at the very end I want you to like plug all your stuff so maybe you can get some customers from the show. My last question is, what did you think of the show? Did anything resonate with you, and would you come back and argue with me?
Yeah, I would definitely come back. I was a little reserved today just because I was kind of shy, but I definitely come back.
Next time we'll bring you on with a panel. Sorry guys, we had a panel but a couple girls tried to bring dudes in the studio and we don't let dudes come in the fucking studio, so it kind of messed up the show tonight. What? Did you read something funny? What did they say?
The most recent comment.
This is like Sunday school with a 14-year-old. You do look pretty young, yeah. Yeah, she does look pretty young, bro. Well, Bang Tango just be always roasting me because he don't really like me. He watches my show, but he doesn't like me. She reminds me of Pearl when she first started and was naive. Yeah. But no, thank you, Chad, so much for coming. I really appreciate you for coming, even though we just got to like have a little one-on-one interview and peel layers back, figure out why modern women are modern women, guys, women bad. We just had to figure out, like why dating is so hard for you. It's not even that bad. You're a good tradcon girl. It sounds like you're gonna like actually end up doing pretty good as long as you end up picking the right dude, which most of y'all suck at that. So ask your brother. Or do you have any brothers?
He's 12.
He's 12. Yeah. Can't ask your brother. Do you have any uncles, cousins?
Yeah.
Is your dad like heavily in your life? Like, do you talk to him all the time?
Yeah, we talk almost every day.
Yeah, I mean, I would just heavily suggest that like any guy that you're talking to, please let them like help you vet because you're not meant to discern like at all. You're not meant to like, even though you know about, and honestly one of the first ways that you can discern with is investments, like, and you understand investments, so like that's the best thing possible. Like going and having a conversation with a guy and like y'all's first dinner and being like, oh, well, like, how's your job? Oh, you do this. Oh, that's dope. Do you have a 401k? Do you max it? Like, what percentage do they match you with? Like, when you ask questions like that, they're like, holy shit, this girl's intelligent. Like, she understands investments like that. And you can tell if he's on his game for the future or not.
Yeah.
And those guys that are on their game for their future, they're ready to make a family. So, like, I think it's really easy to discern between, like, the dudes that are stupid and, like, just, like, living an NPC life and the guys that are, like, focused on building and having a future and like doing all this stuff. And with your financial knowledge, you should be able to discern better than most women. Like everything that I just said right there, I have to teach that to so many women. You already probably knew that. So it's just like asking those things and knowing if he's focused on his future, it's that simple. I think that you're gonna end up doing really good just because you have a finance background. Because like I honestly think the only reason why I'm doing good in life is because I came from like my dad has a really good finance background. And that's why I'm good with finances. But no, thank you so much for coming though. I really want you to come back on a full panel. Definitely a Friday show is when we have the most people. So I would love for you to come back on this Friday or next Friday or something. Um, let me read that really quick from Live, Love, Plan, Pray. She said, "Hey, to a girl that's 5'5" and below, that's tall, or maybe that's what I am, 5'3". Oh no, she must have been talking to somebody else. I thought she was talking to the girl. Yeah, I'll just be chatting and chat. But no, Donnie, thank you so much for coming, bro. I appreciate y'all. Thank you, chat, for all coming up, guys. Bang Tango, you do like me, bro? You like me? I feel so cool now. That's dope. We're gonna have a 1 year meetup or something, maybe, bro. So I really hope that you come out if you like me. But yeah, thank you so much, Donnie. We will see you on Fridays, guys. We're gonna have a fucking fire ass show because we got Beaten Cheeks coming on, the real Beaten Cheeks with the greatest bow tie ever, bro. I think he's actually bringing me a bow tie gift, and if he does, I'm gonna have to fucking wear it, guys. But yeah, shout out to Beaten Cheeks. I can't wait for you to come. Yeah, I cannot wait, bro. I will see y'all then, guys. We'll see y'all Friday, and yeah, peace out and good night.
What? Who you know, motherfucker?